Math 3, Unit 3, Polynomial Functions. As you start this unit, here's a quote about mathematics that you can reflect on. If math is such an important subject, and it is, why teach it in a way that is dependent on a child's weakest mental ability, memory, rather than her strongest mental ability, imagination? Jeff White. The big ideas for this unit include polynomial functions and their characteristics. You will be performing operations with polynomial expressions and learning to perform polynomial division. You will be using the fundamental theorem of algebra to solve polynomial equations and identify key features. Key mathematical tools that we will use in this unit include analyzing key features of functions, analyzing the first, second, and third differences of functions, creating tables, graphs, equations, diagrams, and interpreting them in context. The first two lessons of this unit, you will examine what it is to be a polynomial function. You will revisit Scott and his push-up goals from Math 1 and Math 2 to connect polynomial functions to what you learned about linear and quadratic functions in those previous courses. Like previous functions, you will examine key features of this function in context, including domain and range, and rates of change. You will learn to apply transformations to the cubic functions similarly to how you applied them to quadratics in Math 2. The next lesson will explore how to divide polynomials. You will connect polynomial division to long division that you learned in the 4th grade when dealing with numbers. You will learn how to perform the long division and write your answers as multiplication statements, as well as fraction remainders. The next lesson introduces the fundamental theorem of algebra. You will use the fundamental theorem to find all the roots of a polynomial function, including real and imaginary roots. You will use given roots to help you write the equation for a function. The unit wraps up with graphing different polynomial functions. You will use key features such as x-intercepts, y-intercepts, end behavior, and relative minimum and maximums to analyze the graphs for these functions. Here is a list of key vocabulary terms for this unit. Some of these vocabulary terms should already be familiar to you from previous courses. Here are some key skills needed to be successful with the content of this unit. You should be able to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula, graphing, or completing the square, graph parabolas, factor the forms x squared plus bx plus c, ax squared plus bx plus c, x squared minus y squared, and find common factors, and add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. In addition to your teacher and school-based resources, there are several additional resources available. The Ready, Set, Go homework help videos are housed in the Canvas site for your class. You can access these in Canvas using your student login. If you do not know how to log into Canvas, ask your teacher for help. The K-12 Math Resources website, which can be found on your school's website, includes additional support items such as unit and lesson overviews, videos overviewing the tasks, essential vocabulary, the North Carolina standards for each unit, learning targets for each lesson, and extra practice problems.